You know, okay, so this whole self-improvement thing, like, it is a good journey for all of us to go on. Like, I don't know why in the past I would say, like, self-improvement was just like a cope that it's not even necessary, it's dumb. But just think about it. There are people that are, like, in their 30s and 40s and 50s. A lot of them working like these regular old, you know, low class jobs. And like it may not be good for me to judge them. It may not be good to judge them. Like you could argue that we're all on our own path in life, but I don't think you should be like unless it's like your own business, okay, like your own restaurant. Like you open your own restaurant and you're like a cook there, okay, and you're like 57 years old, let's say, okay? Like that, like no, that's not what I'm talking about. But if you're like, you know, any of you want to want to be like 35, you still want to work at like McDonald's or something. You have to do all these hours and have a boss to answer to. Uh, like I mean, come on. This is the this is what the benefit of self improvement does. And it's like when you I don't know how people lived 50, 60, 100 years ago and like how their lives were when it came time for like careers and jobs and stuff. Maybe that's something I should take the time out to look up. But I don't know, my life shouldn't your life shouldn't be nobody's life should be work that they have to do. It's like work that doesn't have their heart and soul, and that's basically slavery. Like, and sure, there was a time where people had to do that, but you know, as far as I know, we're not really in those times. The thing is, with modern technology, it's like America still this world still wants slaves. So what they do to keep people enslaved is to distract them. It's to enslave them through distractions, such as your phone, social media, the internet, YouTube, television, video games. They use that to keep you from, you know, advancing in life. And technically, you could use one of those things for your benefit. I mean, but for the most part, they're just distractions. It's like, you know, I'm far from perfect, okay? I still get distracted, but it's like what's really hard is like when you end up relapsing, okay, and you go back to binging YouTube or binging social media. It's like you get this dopamine rush, this block in your head, and it makes you feel as if you have to go search for more information. Like you have to get more information. You have to keep on consuming more. It's like sugar, and it takes a while for you to crash. But it's even worse because there's just always more stuff in like the algorithms, and it's almost like junk food and fast food. Like you just keep on craving more, but like with that stuff you will stop. You know, unless you're like overly addicted. But for the most part you'll stop. Like when the bag is empty, you know, when the box of cookies is done, like you'll probably stop. But even like that's what I compare it to. So how do you stop this? How do you stop a food addiction? How do you stop a dopamine addiction? And they say like dopamine detox. The thing is, I want to like correlate this with something else that I'm doing, which is the raw primal diet. Although I'm not really doing it properly, like I'm not doing it the best. Like I still don't really make the vegetable juices as often as I need to. Um, I mean, just today, like I ate some cooked meat. It's not because I was really craving it. It's just that my meat was frozen. Like there's not really much benefit in eating it raw. I don't know. Maybe I was craving it, but regardless, but I don't have much of a craving for really unhealthy food unless I'm like really, really hungry. But the thing is, the reason why I'm like so dedicated to doing this diet is like a lot of people say this will be an identity issue. Well, that is partially true. It is somewhat of an identity issue. And I do like my heart is inclined to be on the raw primal diet. And so the reason why you procrastinate is because your heart is not really inclined to something. Just like how people are really inclined to like be on a certain diet, it's because their heart is inclined to, like people who don't cheat on veganism, okay? It's like if they eat an animal product, they're like, oh my god, I support the suffering and death of animals. So, or it's like people who are doing no fap or something like that, and semen retention, and avoiding porn and stuff like that. It's like once you like relapse or go back to doing it, you feel terrible. You feel absolutely horrible. Yeah, keep quiet, alright? Um, and yeah, you just that should fuel your motivation. And I'm really rambling, but I don't really care. Um, I think most people who watch this video will definitely understand what I'm saying. And that's really what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what is my heart gonna be into? Because yeah, just binge watching YouTube, it's like it's really hard to like once you start watching a bunch of YouTube videos, it's really hard to like get off of that. Oh God.